All right, guys, welcome to Snip and Sip. This is our first ever podcast. And to my right hand, I actually have my right hand woman, Nurse Scottsdale.
Hello.
Also known as Jeanette. And to my left, I have our social media coordinator, who happens to be her sister, Alondra.
Hi, guys.
So, what are we going to talk about? What's the podcast going to be about, guys? Well, what's it going to be about, Nurse Scottsdale?
So we're going to talk about all things plastic surgery. And if you guys have any other questions somewhere out there, just send us a DM.
Or you can send it on as a Snap, a TikTok, Facebook, a YouTube question. Where else can they reach us, Alondra?
Anywhere, really. Mostly the DMs is a good place. That's where we check them daily. So...
Or you check them daily.
Or yeah, I check them daily.
So if there's a special subject or anything you guys want us to talk about, you guys are welcome to send a request.
Why do we call it Snip and Sip?
Because we are sipping today. We are sipping on coffee.
I hate coffee.
And then the snip.
Well, the snip is what I do, right? That's slipping people up. It doesn't have to be your private parts. It can be all kinds of areas all over your face. What else is the show going to be about, Alondra?
It could be about any topics that you guys send in or just current events that are happening, as well as like pop culture or some botched scenarios.
For sure. Well, let's get into today, right? Since it is our first podcast, we want to make sure we're covering recent events. And obviously, unless you've been hiding under a rock, yesterday a big tragic event happened. Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
Was it
the shooting?
The shooting, Donald Trump?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we know what you're talking about.
What do you guys think about that?
Well, I'm glad he's okay. I mean, that's all I can say.
Okay, what about you, Alondra?
I have my theories on it.
Well, let's hear them.
Well, okay.
Let's hear your magical theory here.
Let's delve in here. No, my theory is this is the president of the United States. There's
former president
of the United States, excuse me. There's no way Secret Service didn't camp out first, or like what's the term, like
didn't know about it or
no, yeah, but they have to go days before to like
scope out,
yes, and see like the settings, any potential areas where something like that could happen. They need to know about it beforehand, so there's no way they didn't know about it. So my theory is that it was like a publicity stunt gone wrong.
Oh, really?
I don't know. Gone very
Somebody
wrong.
did die during
yes,
this.
gone-
The shooter, so I don't know how
Gone
that could
wrong.
be a publicity stunt for that individual or the people that got shot. Because I think there was, 5 bullets shot.
Yes.
Actual human beings died. The president was shot in the ear, and you're saying this was a publicity stunt.
I don't know all the details, but it just sounds very like fishy to me. Or that, or the Secret Service just really is not good at their jobs at this point. But
I would say only time will tell. I think it's an impossible thing to sit here and to speculate one way or another. Even Biden said this is a travesty on America. If we're supposed to be one of the greatest countries in the entire world, yet somebody who's running for office could theoretically be killed.
Well, I mean, we are one of the greatest, not one of the safest.
Well, that's true.
I mean, we are the only one that has all these mass shootings, you know, people going into elementary schools and killing kids. So we're the greatest, just not the safest.
All right, guys. So, yesterday was an extremely tragic day in American history that probably will not be forgotten anytime soon. It's sad, especially because of the circumstances people lost their lives. And again, an event that probably could have been preventable. Anything that you guys like to add to that?
No.
I would like to say that prayers are to the families. It is an unfortunate event that has happened, and it's not good no matter how you look at it. So,
and now on a lighter note, what is the purpose of our podcast? Obviously, it's Snip and Sip. And so every week we're going to be talking about a different drink. And again, if somebody wants to sponsor us, we'd be more than interested in entertaining offers. I know they were plenty happy, my associates here, in drinking coffee, even though I actually absolutely despise coffee because I don't like the taste. But why do you guys like coffee so much?
I just like the taste. It's not so much the caffeine. I don't think caffeine does really...
You don't function without caffeine.
It doesn't do anything for me. I mean, I can have a coffee late at night and still sleep okay.
Yeah, but if you don't have it.
Yeah, and when you don't have caffeine, are you a grouch monster?
No, I'm always peaceful and
She's
sweet.
a caffeine addict.
I wouldn't say she's an addict, but if you don't have caffeine, you do not function well.
So yes, I would say. I only have it here and there if I absolutely need it. I'm not really a caffeine person. I just hate like when you drink coffee, it leaves like a film on your teeth. You know what I'm talking about?
You mean it makes your teeth yellow?
No, it like leaves a film on it where I can taste it throughout the day, so I don't really drink it very
I think
often.
that's all the sugar that you're putting in your coffee. That's the film.
Probably,
If
or
it's
the
just-
milk, or like the creamer.
Yeah,
But
straight coffee doesn't do that.
Fair enough, guys. But again, the goal of our podcast is to be funny, not to hear me talk for an hour straight or 30 minutes or 20 minutes about all things plastic surgery, like why get a boob job or why get a breast lift, but it's about recent trends, events, basically what's going on in the world, with two beautiful women here. One happens to be my wife and an annoying sister-in-law.
Your favorite sister-in-law.
So tell me two truths and one lie.
About myself?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, now you're getting deep.
Well, tell me two truths. How old are you?
25.
Okay.
And
Are you married?
no.
Well, tell me two truths and a lie.
I'm also 24. I lied about the age.
So tell me three things. One of them has to be a lie.
And we're supposed to guess which one is
Okay.
the lie.
Well, I feel
Yeah.
like I need a second. You guys go first.
Okay. Jeanette, tell me two truths and a lie.
But you would know everything. She's my sister, so it's not like you wouldn't
I'm
know.
sure you lied to me. It's okay. So tell me two truths and a lie. And I hope I would know them all, but
I know, right? You just put me on the spot.
they don't like being on the spot.
Well, no, I think
We should,
you
like-
pretty much know everything about me. I mean, unless I haven't said anything.
Which makes it a lie.
It doesn't make it a lie. It just means that I haven't told you.
That's called a half-truth.
That's called I haven't told you.
That's called a half-truth.
It's
I
not,
think that's she just hasn't told you.
or you haven't asked.
But if you ask and you skirt the subject,
If you ask, and then if I say yes or no, but if I lie about it, it's a lie. But if I don't say anything, that just means I didn't say anything.
okay. The double standard that women have, guys. I know you're out there, you're listening. I think you probably agree. But it is what it is. Okay, so I will go first since it seems my associates here have no idea about
We can't expose ourselves
I know.
this way.
Oh, okay.
We can expose you. This is the
only
first
me,
part.
only me.
Yes.
Okay. So, two truths. I grew up in El Paso. I was born in another state.
Which one?
And I can dunk the basketball. So what are the two truths and one lie?
You can't dunk a basketball.
Well, I know you grew up in El Paso. I know you were born in another state. So the last one, but I thought you used to play basketball.
I do play basketball, but that doesn't mean I could dunk the
So
basketball.
you weren't that great.
No.
Yeah, so you
Just
were
because
right.
you can't dunk doesn't mean you're not
I
good
thought
at
you
basketball.
did that. Okay.
Yeah, when I lowered the basketball. Maybe at 9 feet, not 10 feet. Yeah, to each their own, to each their own. Okay, so tell me two truths and a lie.
All right.
Three things. Go.
Okay. I was born in Mexico. I have 2 birthdays. And I guess you would probably know the other one. I love writing with a passion.
Well, you don't love writing with the passion. I'm going to say that.
Well, you already knew the other
Well, that you guys would know because you guys
Yeah.
Or what?
are close to me to know what I like and don't like. And
Okay, fair enough. Okay. But I know you do write. You just don't love it.
yeah, I do write. I think maybe if I'm stressed out, I'm going through something, that's a way of me coping with stuff. I just write, but I don't love it. If I have to do it for fun, I don't.
Okay, fair enough. I know that.
I should have been thinking while you guys were
But you said
going.
that's what you were doing.
What?
I thought you said you were going to think about it.
I know,
To come
and
back to
then
you.
I have the brain span of a goldfish sometimes, so.
So there's one.
That's a truth.
All right. Okay, so that was one. I have a really, really good memory, and my favorite food is Indian food.
Okay.
Oh, wait, actually,
That
let me
sounds like
change
two
that.
lies.
It's Italian, sorry.
Sounds like two lies to me.
Okay. I can probably guess memory. You don't have that good of a memory.
Okay, yeah, so I have a horrible memory. It's very bad.
Well, obviously, you're literally proving it on the air right now.
And I know she loves her pasta. So.
I do love pasta.
She's a carb addict.
Yes.
Disagree?
No, I will inhale carbs if given to me. So, yes, that one is true.
Okay. How do you stay so skinny?
You know, I'm just that great.
Genetics.
It's my genetics.
No.
Yeah, we all know the secret, but we'll save that for another.
For another
A little
episode.
snippet.
No snippets, but we'll save it for a later episode of our
The
podcast.
grand reveal.
So, why are you guys on this podcast today?
I'm just here being supportive to you and to us and seeing if anybody has any questions.
I was forced against my will to be here today. I'm just kidding.
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
Maybe this will be her first and last episode on this podcast then.
No, I'm kidding.
We'll keep it really simple. So here's a better question. Let's see if you guys know the answer
Okay.
to this. Okay. Why did I become a plastic surgeon? I'll let you start. See if you could answer that, Alondra.
Why I think you became a plastic surgeon? I think it goes to like your motto for the office is you're trying to inspire people to be their own kind of beautiful. And I believe, I don't know if it's true, but like I feel like it's very satisfying to see and be able to change a patient's life because you could see the results right away. I don't know. That would be my guess.
Okay. Jeanette?
Well, I think you became a plastic surgeon to try and help other people. I don't think you were really quite thinking about doing butts and boobs, but I think you were trying to do maybe better for the world. I know you'd love doing cleft lips and palates, and that's why you're just trying to help people. And
Well, I would agree a little bit with both of you guys. I think the perspective was that growing up in El Paso, Texas, we didn't grow up with a lot, but I had an amazing mother that provided more than whatever she should have for me and my sister. And we're both very fortunate because obviously, I became a doctor and my sister became a lawyer. But I think the biggest reason was she was in a car accident and she got hit by a car and I literally saw it. And because I was exposed to that and I couldn't help her being there, I realized I was worthless. And most people who don't know anything about medicine might get exposed to that situation and be like, wow, I never want to be put in that. But instead I decided to go to medical school. So that's how I got started in medicine. But the reason I became a plastic surgeon was because one of my professors in my first year of medical school gave a talk on what's called pathophysiology. That's the reason when something goes wrong from the cellular level all the way to what we see in our skin on the outside. And they talked about that, but in the scope of what a plastic surgeon does, which is somebody who operates from head to toes. That's the only surgical specialty that can operate on almost anything. And usually they would call a plastic surgeon a surgeon. And they call them that because if another surgeon has an issue, they call the plastic surgeon, which most people are like, why are you calling it a plastic surgeon? Because we're capable of moving one body part to another, so to speak. And the crazy part about new plastic surgeons now is they do face transplants, they do hand transplants, they do penile transplants. They're literally transplanting something from another person or another, what's the word I'm looking for? Like another animal to us. And yes, the final straw or the final nail in the coffin as to why I became a plastic surgeon was because I saw my first cleft lip when I was in my first year. And I couldn't believe that somebody could move skin around and make it look totally normal. So that's where I agree with both of you. It's about helping people be their own kind of beautiful, specifically kids. I never wanted to do the boobs and butts or butts and boobs or the TNA, as I describe it. I got a fellowship in craniofacial plastic surgery, and that basically means operating on babies that have cleft lips, cleft palates, malformed ears. Their head is shaped funny. And I got accepted to go do a fellowship in Tennessee and Paris, France. And the military didn't allow me to do that. So part of my journey was I went straight into the military after I finished my training in plastic surgery. I never got the opportunity to basically do that advanced extra training. And so that's part of the reason I still continue going on my medical mission trips that I know is kind of hard for you sometimes.
Well, it's not. I love that you love going. Is just, in the past, it's a whole week and a half. So I have to stay back working, taking care of the kids. And it's great. But when you want to do more than just once a year, it just makes it really hard for me.
No, I know. And I appreciate that. But, the hardest part for me is everybody thinks like I'm going on this magical vacation.
And it's not.
I tend to work a lot harder there than I do when I'm home. Typically, those days are from 6 a.m. to my last trip to Africa, we got home at around 11 or 12 a.m. And then you go to sleep almost on something that's actually more firm than the floor. And then you get up and you do it again. So
yes. And I do got to add, when you go on these mission trips, you come back and you're like a different person. You're so happy, just with a different mindset, different attitude. Except for this last one, though. This last trip, you came back and you were just so depressed and just sad. And it was different
What happened on that trip?
I think the thing that happened when I went to Ghana and Africa was that the resources they had there were so poor that even though these patients had gotten care, the care was even below standard of care, that they got the care that they could get that was as good as they could get. But these patients were so far gone that usually I can take 20% and get to 50, 60, 80% improvement. And in those cases, they were 20% and I could get to like 22% or 25%.
Boring.
So I made them a little bit better, but it wasn't enough to make me feel like I had changed the world, one patient at a time. So it was really hard. It was more heartbreaking than it was heart moving.
Right. And you still want to go back again this year?
Yeah. I gotta believe that even if I can just make one life better during this week plus, that it's worth it. And that's part of the reason, I became a plastic surgeon.
Mm-hmm. And you gotta think, even like if you did only increase 2%, that's 2% more than they would have had without you, so either way, like, you still made a difference.
And I mean, it's true, but for me, I'm very much a perfectionist. So it's like, if I don't get 100, it's like, why didn't I get 100? If I can take it from 20, why can't I take it to 40% or 50%? But it was pretty moving that with some of the patients, I had learned how to use WhatsApp better, even though it's still not my go-to. That they sent me a couple of pictures several months later, and the child whose hand was like glued down to their forearm here was able to actually extend it from here to here. But the hardest part was that they had what's called a club hand. That means they didn't have any fingers. So at least now they can use their wrist to kind of grab things, even though they before they couldn't because it was kind of glued to this part of the arm. So that kind of made my whole trip worth it, that little girl was able to move her wrists a little bit better because of what we did for her.
Yeah, I was really surprised because I know when he's out there, he'll send me pictures. There was a lot of burns, like a lot of burns. Is it just the way they cook? Everybody has fires?
It's hard to say because, like I said, I haven't been to Africa, but only once this last year in around September, October. But most of the time when the burns is because these people live in basically huts. And so in order to stay warm, they basically make fires. And even though they have little children, they turn around and the little child falls on a fire. Or they get too close and trip and then they burn their hands and they don't have a lot of care over there. So all burns heal. but they just heal with contractions, and that causes their body to kind of shrink and tighten up.
For babies.
So it's hard, but I think what's going to be the best part about this trip is that you're coming with me this time.
I am.
This is going to be her first medical mission trip.
I'm excited.
I would love to. Yeah.
I'm excited.
I know you're excited, but it's one of those things that I preface having gone, I don't know how many times, that the first one is usually one of the hardest because you're not used to, you think the world is a great and magical place based on where we live and what we do. And then you get there and you realize, wow, like people live this way. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean that stuff happens.
Mm-hmm. They don't have the resources we have.
Correct.
Yeah.
Like, that's why it just kills me when I see us throwing food away that they would kill for food with mold just to have anything that's not what they have,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's one of those things, but I think it's going to be a good experience. But let's change some subjects.
Right. I mean, this is a lot of sadness. Happy thoughts.
First episode.
Yeah, I know. I think we've gotten a little deep on this.
Yeah, let's talk about like something happy.
Something fast and fun Q&A. What's your favorite food?
I like Mediterranean food.
Okay, even though we never eat Mediterranean food. Okay.
My favorite food, I think I already talked about. I love Italian food. Anything with carbs, bread.
Carbs.
How about yours?
I'm easy. I like Chinese food. Give me some orange chicken, some chow mein, and I'm good to go. Or a Chinese buffet where I can just pick out.
What's your favorite, what is it called? Like fast food Chinese restaurant?
The one that's the closest. Most of the time, Chinese food is Chinese food. Sometimes it's really bad. But other than that, any Chinese food is Chinese
I think if we find something that we like, we tend to go to that same place over and over and over till we somehow try something new, and then we love it, and then we start going to that place over and over and over.
I'll give a shout out to Iron Chef, who's where we've been going to lately, and honestly, they do a fabulous job, and they have all-you-can-eat sushi, by the way. And again, we're not sponsored by them. But
I do that too, though, where I hyperfixate on food. Like right now, it's Panera, like their broccoli cheddar soup. Every time I have like lunch, I want the broccoli cheddar soup, but like that happens over and over until I get sick of it, and then I find something else.
And you get sick because you're lactose intolerant?
Yes, I'm also lactose intolerant.
Hey, I'm lactose intolerant, but I know better than to go eat broccoli cheese soup. There's no
It's
amount
so
of
good.
lactose.
It's worth it. It's worth it every time. And
Shit your brains out?
I don't even shit my brains out because I'm always...
Secret to weight loss. Be lactose intolerant and eat cheese and milk.
Yes, it's mostly like stomach pains that I get, but
And not diarrhea.
no, I wish.
Okay. You heard it.
All right. Do you guys have any hidden talents?
What's my hidden talent? Being an asshole?
That's just your personality at this point.
I would agree.
You would agree? That's my hidden talent?
Yes. But I think I mellow you out because I'm just really nice and relaxed, and I think I tend to.
Well, I don't know about that. What are your hidden talents, Alondra?
I have so many talents. Where do I start?
One.
Jeez. Actually, what are my hidden talents?
I don't know. Ask a boyfriend?
I don't have mans.
You heard it first. She's single, guys.
No, I think you're pretty artistic. I think you like to be organized. Like,
yes.
Although not in your room, but
No, I'm a messy organized where like I organize like if you see my room, it's a mess. But if you open the drawers, it's like Marie Kondo, like very, very organized. And then if I see other people's mess, I want to fix it. But my mess, like I know where everything is.
How about the mess up here?
No, she's not organized up there. But the artistic, yeah, I do love like drawing, like coloring, painting, even like on the computer. Like I love Adobe and like editing and stuff. So.
Why she's our social media coordinator. How about you, Jay?
I don't know. I love hobbies, although I don't have time for them. I just love to sew.
Working out.
I don't work out, although I did once upon a time.
When we first met, she would work out like, 5-6 days a week?
Yes.
She didn't work out twice in 8 years.
Yes, I agree.
She's a mother. She has kids.
But yes, now my biggest hobby is the kids. I'm a driver.
You love No, you used to make like really nice dresses and clothes when we were younger. Like she would get the packages and sew like the cutest like clothes.
Did they fit you?
Heck no, I was fat. But
So you're a chubby kid.
yes, very chubby was my life. It was very.
So I like arts and crafts.
I was gonna say you're good at crafts too.
Remember that whole painting that I repainted for the
Oh,
office?
yeah, that's true.
Like I made it, but
Or even like your nursing crafts that you did. Like I forgot what it was, but you had to make like not a scrapbook, but something for nursing.
so
But yeah.
Okay. And what do you like to do outside of work? Assuming you had no kids, because that's literally our life as our kids.
yes, as our kids, I envision myself like going
With $1
to
billion?
yes,
Let's
maybe
manifest that.
if I had time, I would play tennis,
That would require you to exercise and sweat.
and I love it. I do. I would.
She actually used to be very athletic, like very outdoorsy.
like my arts and crafts, like.
You would snowboard.
I would, cooking if I had time, baking.
I'm waiting for all these things, guys.
But you keep on giving me kids.
Oh,
I'm like,
okay. I keep on.
We're
giving you
waiting
kids.
for the
Yes.
twins.
Oh, we're waiting for twins.
We're
now?
waiting for twins.
maybe next year.
No, don't believe that. No twins. We're good.
We're gonna
Okay,
manifest
just
some
one.
twins.
Okay. How about you, Amanda?
What I like to do? Oh my gosh. I feel like lately I've been working so much, so I just when I get home I like to relax, put on a show, binge watch, and just like be mindless and just be on my phone and watch. That's my latest hobby is Love Island USA. You guys,
I have no idea.
it's a reality TV show where they're put on an island and basically it's a lot of drama.
They get it on?
Well,
Yeah.
they're not
sure
at that
they
part
do.
yet, but yes.
Yet?
Basically, they're trying to find love on an island, but some of the girls are caddies, some of the guys are hoochies. So it's
So they get it on.
yes, yeah. So that's my latest hobby is watching Love Island USA.
How about you?
My most favorite thing to do outside of the kids, and of course spending time with my lovely wife, was actually playing basketball. But I haven't probably done that in, like 4 years. I think the last time I went to go play was on a Saturday about 4 years ago. And I still think I'm like, 18 years old and can do everything. And I was playing and trying to keep up with, 18-year-old kids, even though I'm like, my late 30s now, as my wife would say, early 40s, even actually 45, which puts me in my mid 40s. We were playing, everything was going well. But then I was trying to keep up and I literally pulled my groin. And I was like, holy moly. It took me 1 year before I could walk like a normal person.
What does that mean?
He was out of commission.
Yeah, you don't know what a groin means?
But like,
How do you pull it? That's not pulling your, what, on a guy, okay? Your groin is what's called your sartorius or gracilis muscle. It's a muscle
in layman's terms, please.
just basically a muscle that's inside your thigh. So every time you open your legs, you're like, oh, that hurts.
Oh, okay. I was like,
so-
what in the world happened on that basketball
For a
court?
while.
So it was like, no more playing basketball, please.
Because we couldn't have extracurricular activities at home after the kids go to sleep,
Ew.
We still tried.
Tried.
Thanks.
The PTSD is hitting me.
From what?
When I used to live with you and I would hear the bed move like in the middle of the night and I was downstairs and you guys were upstairs.
It wasn't in the middle of the night. We were
Yes,
both
it
sleeping
was.
at the
Yeah,
time.
we're asleep.
No, I would hear noises in the middle of the night.
No.
It goes.
I don't know. It sounded like a headboard to me.
Maybe sometimes.
No, I love my sleep, so in the middle of the night, I'm going to be sleeping. Nothing's happening.
I don't know
Unless
what it was
I don't
then.
know about it.
Yeah, you guys are crazy. What's your best dream vacation goals?
Oh, I really would love one day to go to Europe, everywhere, just Italy specifically. I want to see the architecture over there. And
There's Google Maps for that.
I want to be up and personal with those buildings.
Oh, like you want to touch them.
Yes, I do. And then, if there so happens to be an Italian man or an English man out there, then, bonus points.
There's plenty of English men around here. They talk English just fine.
No, I don't want those.
Oh, okay. Dream vacation, honey.
I just want to be away somewhere in the beach.
Without kids
Just-
and a husband.
No, because then I'm going to be miserable just thinking about
What we're
the
doing and how much
kids
fun we're having.
and yes, and the husband. So no, want to be. I want them around, maybe not on me or like they're with me, but maybe like
With a nanny.
closer. Yeah.
With a nanny.
Okay.
Your dream
What's my
vacation?
dream vacation? Actually, the place I always wanted to go to that's still on my bucket list is actually to go to Egypt. I've always wanted to see
a good one.
not the towers, the pyramids, the pharaohs. Like I used to love the mummy movies. I still do. Like if they show up on like TBS or TNT, I'll literally get on there and be like, damn, I got to watch this again.
Yeah.
Because they do it for me. Like I think it was so fascinating that now that we believe UFOs are real, or at least the United States of America said they are officially real, not made up, that obviously we had to have help in kind of building those things.
So you
Because,
think it was aliens that helped?
well, ask yourself, how do we lift without electricity, without power, with logs, water, and sand? How do we as human beings move 2,000-ton bricks?
But that's still the question everywhere. But I don't think aliens would have left once they were here.
Well, maybe they're still here.
Maybe there was like smarter people back then.
Oh, and then we just got dumber?
Yeah, now we have all this
No.
technology
I think
and
there's
like
no way there's not any aliens. If we're like a little
No.
speck in the universe,
Which
you
we
know,
are.
yeah.
then I feel like it takes more faith or more like it's crazier to think about that we're the only ones than not, if that makes sense. I don't know how to word things properly, but
Well, that's obvious.
shut up.
No, but I gotta believe that there's no way as humans right now, if you said, okay, guys, take your brains that you have right now today and get the 50 smartest people with the 50 strongest people and try to move a 2-ton piece of stone and keep building it and see how long it would take. And it would take longer than our lifespans to build one of those pyramids. So, and they did it like what I believe based on the history was like a 10-year period, which is insane.
Yeah. I mean, in some of those pyramids, though, the stones that they use, they're nowhere around where they were. So they had to carry those stones. So I must have been watching something. And what they found out is like when it was built, there used to be like a river that would flow right through it. So they were
told you
thinking,
that.
no, I heard it from somewhere else. No, you didn't. And that's how they think they got most of the stuff. So
So like it flowed
it
through.
did flow. Yeah, no, you didn't tell me something like it was.
Well, we can't
Maybe it
even
was
like
another
even if we wanted
podcast.
to today, we couldn't lift them, right?
No, we couldn't. But the reality is, to your point, was that they actually recently, in the last couple of months, they discovered that there was a theoretical river that ran across all the paths of, because if you look at the map of Egypt, you will see all the pyramids in kind of a straight linear path, even though it was really far away from the Nile. So they're like, well, we couldn't float them down the river and then carry them 100 miles if there was another supposed Nile river or another river next to it that it flowed right by it. So yes, I remember saying something like that to you.
I heard it. It must have been another podcast or something that I was.
Yeah. Well, isn't the pyramid like aligned with the stars and everything too? Like, how would they possibly?
Know that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it had to be. Yeah.
So, since we're on the topic of movies, what's the last movie you watched?
The one last night that I don't know. It was
What was it about?
monkeys.
I will expand upon that after a little bit.
I was half asleep.
Obviously.
Last movie is hard. I think this
Is
is
it just Dallas?
no, the Dallas Cowboy was like a series. If that's what you're talking to about.
No, I'm not talking about Debbie Does Dallas.
Oh, there's the Dallas Cowboy cheerleader documentary, but I did watch that. I think I was sad and I put on like The Notebook actually to make myself cry.
When? Yesterday?
Like when I was on my period like a week ago. And I cried, so it worked.
Why do you want to cry?
Because if I'm emotional, like I want to feel the feelings. I don't know why I do that. I do that every time. So, yeah.
Okay, some people get horny and some people want to cry.
Why not both?
Maybe that's why you're single.
Yeah, so I could see Ryan Gosling and cry.
Yeah, that's why you're single.
But I don't like to make myself cry at all.
I know you're not very emotional.
No,
I
not
am.
at all.
No.
She's not emotional.
Seca.
No, I just hold it in. Like,
You're like a cactus. You're dry.
now I'm not.
But inside she's full of water.
Yes.
Yes, she's dry on the outside, but I'm not going to go
No.
Oh, hell no.
on the inside. Hopefully only sometimes. But what was the last movie we watched? Well, actually, last night we saw Planet of the Apes, Kingdom of the Apes, or Planet of the Apes. And it was interesting because I know you fell asleep, but I watched the whole thing. And I thought it was actually pretty good because it literally reversed the roles of the entire world. That apes were the dominant species and humans were the dumb people that had to survive on whatever. They couldn't talk. All they would do was just grunt to talk to each other. But there were a couple of humans that still had the ability to kind of talk and think. And it was interesting that the apes were trying to discover previous relics of humans to help them continue their evolution. So I thought it was actually pretty good, but it left it open for another sequel.
For a sequel.
I saw a shower thought that was like that. It was, well, not like that, but relating to was if we evolved from apes or monkeys, and why is there still apes and monkeys? Because wouldn't you think that they would evolve with
us?
Yeah, and there would be none left.
You mean like Homo sapiens?
I'm just saying. That was the shower thought.
Okay, shower thoughts. We had a whole
Oh,
discussion
yeah, we
about.
did have a shower thought
I'm like,
discussion.
what is a shower thought? I don't shower and think about this stuff. So do you have, I mean, for you would be OR thoughts when you're like in the OR? Would you just go like thinking about like just random stuff?
Well, I'd love to say I do, but the reality is I don't. I try to focus on the patient, even though it's muscle memory and I've done the surgery sometimes over 1,000 times each. It's hard for me not to focus on the patient because the OR is a scary place and I never want anything crazy to happen. So even though it might seem like I'm not paying attention and just doing my thing, I'm literally listening to the OR conversations that are going on behind my back or the faces that people make because I can look at other people's expressions.
You have teacher ears.
Yes, those conversations are like happening as, yeah.
But he has teacher ears. I can whisper something and then he'll be like, oh yeah, this and this to that. And I'm like, how did you hear that? You're like in the middle of lipo and I'm whispering. But
it's a lot of practice. I can hear certain noises and be like, hey, we need to go check on that. That's broken or it's sounding off. That's just part of being in there. And everybody thinks it's like, oh, you're just born this way or whatever. And it's just God knows how many hours of my life I spent in the operating room taking care of patients that it's just almost second nature when you do it enough. Just imagine when you first started doing your job, whatever that was, and after doing it 1,000, 10,000, 20,000 times at your life, you got it. You know how it goes.
So do you have
any other random?
like shower thoughts? I have driving thoughts. I mean,
What are
because
your driving thoughts?
well, no, just I drive so much that I have a lot of time to like just think about stuff. A lot of my thoughts are actually they have to do with the kids because our son, he's 5, and he'll have like random questions like and I was like, okay, that's actually kind of legit questions. He asked me, Mom, why do we only have one life? And I was like, we do. And I think because he was watching something that maybe cats that have like more than one
Like
life.
9 lives.
So yeah, so he's like, why? It's not fair that we only have one life. And I was like, that's actually kind of true. I mean, if you think about it, I'm like, well, we only have one.
that we know of.
Yeah, but why, Mom? Why? I'm like, I don't know. I can't answer that question. I'm not God. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he does have very legitimate questions for a 5-year-old.
So those are my driving thoughts.
Driving
Fair
thoughts?
enough. To add to that, you know, his thing is, I love you with my one heart. He always says that to us. He's like, I love you with my one heart. And he says one heart because he realized that some other animals have more than one heart. So he's like, well, how many hearts do we have? And they said one. He's like, how come we don't have more so we can love more? So he says, I love you with my one heart.
He's a sweetie. I have not those deep thoughts. I like my shower thoughts are just random things. Like, for example, I saw one the other day that said, so if you're born deaf, what language do you speak, or what language do you think in? So that got me thinking. I was like, that's a really good question. Like, I would have no idea, because you never learn the language, you never hear it. So how are you thinking?
But you still kind of learn how to write Braille.
So do you think in Braille? Like, what do you?
I mean, that's still like a language specific, right? It's still right when you learn how to read in Braille. Is that
it's like a feeling?
But you guys are missing the point. Okay.
Like, what are you thinking? Like, what language?
Said if a child is born deaf, that doesn't mean blind. Okay.
No, I know, but it's
so they can still.
But they can't hear like what they're.
Correct.
But they're seeing the words. If you can still read it, you're gonna read in English, Spanish, or whatever that is.
But how do they know what the words sound like?
They're not.
See, my mind is blown. I don't. Sorry, that's my shower thought for the day.
Okay, I don't think that was a very good one, but
okay.
Anyways, so in order to kind of tie this into everything that we do in our office and all the outreach that we have, we're going to have a keyword for you guys. And do you guys know what that keyword is? You want to say the first part of that keyword, or you don't know the keyword?
I don't know what the key is.
You
It
say
a
the
surprise?
first part of the keyword?
Silicone.
And the last word is daddy. So the keyword is silicone daddy. So if you're one of the first people to watch this and send us a DM, or the first person gets a free filler. The second person to DM us silicone daddy or put it on one of our posts will get 20 units of Botox for free with Nurse Scottsdale. What do you guys think?
I think that's a great deal.
Yeah.
So there you guys go for watching our podcast and actually getting pretty much close to the end. You guys can win free stuff. And we're going to do this pretty much every podcast episode. And I'm going to leave you guys with this little bit. What is the most favorite surgery that you've seen so far?
That I've seen? Probably the fleur-de-lis tummy tuck.
Not the penis enhancement?
I haven't seen a penis enhancement. No.
She's still waiting for it.
She wants to see it in real life, bro.
I don't know about that one, but
See it grow in real life?
anyway,
It depends, right?
What's your most favorite surgery to watch?
I want to say like faces, because it's just like instant gratification. It's just that's the one body part you can't hide. Everything else you can hide. You can wear all this different kind of clothes and you still look good, but faces you can't really hide.
Okay.
What's your favorite to do?
My most favorite surgery to do is a cleft lip. And it's usually a unilateral or a bilateral, which basically means you have two openings with a little piece of what's called prolabium, or the top part or the middle part of your lip. Those are the most challenging, but those are my most favorite cases to actually watch and do. All right, guys. So that pretty much wraps up our show. And next week, we're going to be talking about celebrity trends, what's hot and what's not. Are you guys ready for next week?
We're ready.
I'm ready.
All right, stay tuned. I hope you had as much fun listening as we did recording. Don't forget to follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and all podcast sites for new episodes, as well as Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Stay snatched, stay hydrated, and until next time, cheers.